Welcome to the Road Show. Welcome to Brossard. It is the Division 6 2018 Winter Championship. It is the game between Vick In A Box and Fighting Flamingos, two of the dumbest names in the division. But
great game though. What two great teams
absolutely.
That we're bound to have a phenomenal game.
You're hearing the voices of Piz Delariz and Simon Dagenet. We've been on the podcast all season long, and unfortunately, Division 6, you'll need to tolerate us for one more hour.
Well, 1.5. one hour, maybe more. If there's overtime, maybe more.
Overtime, some timeouts, some challenges.
I'll have to say we're basically jinxing ourselves.
It does look like Vick In A Box is going to be starting with the ball. Daniel Pizzatoro, snapper, came out of the team break with the ball in his hands, and Vick In A Box, undefeated to this point, just 10-0 season, going through the playoffs, not really any trouble. Will that harm them, do you think, at this point?
I think it's one of those situations where it could harm them, as they could unravel a little bit. If Fighting Flamingos is able to keep up with them early and take the lead away from them before halftime, for instance, it could be a problem for Vick In A Box, all things considered. Considering that they haven't really been challenged this season, they've all been kind of rolling through their competition. But I think they're mature enough. They're a very strong team overall. Everybody kind of knows what they're doing. I'm not too worried about them, even if it's a close game.
Looking at Fighting Flamingos, does Brett Bodkin in his Fighting Flamingos jersey look like a Miami bouncer for a strip club called the Fighting Flamingos?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw him for the first time.
There's no because. Yes.
Yes, just it is what it is. And we have, of course, on the side of Fighting Flamingos, not a perfect season, but pretty much almost that. Their only loss coming to a bizarre game against Flonkerton, a team that didn't even make the playoffs. A shocking loss, but then have just been strong throughout, except in the playoffs. Not really. One tight game against practice squad, 14-8.
Yeah,
a game.
This week.
Yeah, this past week when Andrew Knopp just created havoc for Stephen Harpersad, and wondering now to see if Ismail Fraction can have the same kind of impact that we saw last week.
Is that the key to stopping Stephen Harpersad to have a very strong, tall rusher, or is Andrew Knopp just really? It was just the rusher that's too difficult to face. Being
tall is one of the keys to stopping Stephen Harpersad, because he's not. He's also not necessarily the most mobile, although he did make a couple of moves on Knopp in that game. And Harpersad was just off his game, continuing to use middle of the field reads when he had the sidelines open.
Considering that your boy Kevin Crusade just showed up right now, do you think they actually benched him?
Well, he's not on this team, so definitely they benched him.
He's on the other
playing
team
for Wrecking Crew, where we'll see Stephen Harpersad next.
I apologize to everybody in Division 6.
It's okay. It's a little bit
I thought this
chaotic.
was way too hilarious for him to show up right before the game, not dressed.
He did say he baked us some goodies, so I'm pretty sure they're poisoned. So I'm gonna.
I'll have them anyway. That don't matter.
I was actually absolutely wrong.
Trust him.
Fighting Flamingos getting the ball to start. Vick In A Box deferring, and we see Ismail Fraction ready at the rusher position, all ready to take off. And
if there's one guy to have an impact in this game, like you said, it would be Ismail early on, to be able to actually put a lot of pressure on Stephen Harpersad and forced a few early throws that could turn into interceptions.
And we have Fighting Flamingos setting up. Fraction waving to indicate that he is in fact the rusher. Ball snap to the left of Harpersad. He delivers very quickly to his rusher and snapper, Mathieu Lacharité.
Pump faked the play. He pump faked the receiver. Nobody jumped, so he said, "You know what? I'll throw it anyways. If you guys don't want to cover it, I'll take it." Safe play to begin with. It's one of those things that honestly I like to see. Is your first play should be something safe, something easy. Get those easy yards, get the confidence boosting, and then move on to something else.
He like that though. He gets the snap, pumps it, and he's like, "Oh, it's still open." Throws it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, if you guys are not going to cover it, I'll take it.
No, for sure. And now on second and medium, second and 5. Let's call it second and 5.
Second and medium, I like it.
Mathieu Lacharité snaps the ball, quickly coming across the middle of the field. The ball is caught on a quick delivery by Stephen Harpersad, and that catch made by Antoine Kraft-Cloutier, who was missing in that last game last week.
Doesn't medium also means like you see the future?
It also means that you don't want to say it's quite small.
No.
Now, first and 10 for Fighting Flamingos, wearing their pinks, of course, going up against the green Vick In A Box. I believe those are the colors.
Yes, those are the
Stephen Harpersad looking to his right. Brett Bodkin open on a hook, as he always is, and is quickly deflagged, also as he always is, by Daniel Pizzatoro.
Wide open, Brett Bodkin. He's honestly, he's faster than he looks. Like I've played against him.
So is anyone faster than Brett Botkin looks.
Fair. It's not nice.
Nobody knows it. Honestly, Brent Botkin has very good hands, underused in many offenses, and especially with the ball in his hands, very quick. Very
nice voice too. We'll get to hear him a little bit later on today.
Absolutely. Very quick feet for a big dude.
Yep.
Ball quickly thrown to the sideline. This time it's Miles Kyler. Miles Kyler having a monster season and an even better postseason, as we saw 7 touchdowns in this postseason and the game-winning touchdown on a beautiful corner route. If you haven't seen the promo video for this game, take a look after this broadcast, of course, because clearly you're watching on Facebook Live.
Keep watching the game, please.
Yeah, don't turn us off, because you'll probably see the corner later in this game. But a great catch by Miles Kyler.
I'm not surprised that Flying Flamingos is driving the field and being successful, but how quickly they are driving the field is surprising to me.
Ball snapped high, but quickly thrown to Miles Kyler, his 8th touchdown of the playoffs. And Miles Kyler, welcome to Tangier. It's a touchdown.
Okay, that's nice. So it was a beautiful route by Miles Kyler. It looked like a simple out route, but he managed to make the defender kind of hesitate, and he was wide open. Beautiful play. It took less than 3 minutes for Flying Flamingos to score. I was expecting this to be a much slower paced game, but it didn't matter. No incompletes by Stephen Harper-Assad in this first drive. Look, Flying Flamingos look in complete control. Harper-Assad
moving to his right, delivers the ball once again into the neck of Brett Botkin. It is caught. It is a convert. It is 7-0 Fighting Flamingos.
This is not something you expect anybody to say, but this is going to be a very interesting matchup between Brett Botkin and Daniel Pizzaturo. They're two guys that are better than they look, and they're two guys that can actually surprise another team. They're facing off against each other. I think the ball's going to go there more often than we think it will.
And Stephen Harper-Assad doing the smart thing and moving the pocket. This is something that the one thing Vick In A Box has struggled against is when the quarterback moves in the pocket, they tend to follow the eyes of the quarterback. Great play by Stephen Harper-Assad. Styles Trudeau on his first snap of the game, he looks, delivers a ball to the referee.
So this is exactly what I mentioned earlier. Your first play should be something safe and easy.
Not a comeback on the sideline?
No, but you get that first play, you get those short yards, you get that confidence going, and then you're ready to go. If your first play is an incomplete, you're always shaking up a little bit afterwards. You're always considering, what do I do now? Do I go back to this easy play? But it might not. It puts me in a third down difficult. Do I go deep and now we're stuck at 3rd and 10? It's tricky.
And perhaps, but that throw has been safe throughout the season to Sebastien Dufault. Styles Trudeau now looking deep to the Madden glitch himself. Max Bura, my God, if that's going to be the coverage all night, we're not going to stop seeing scores, and I'll have what she's having.
Max Bura he's a phenomenal receiver. He's very, very good. Very difficult to cover. And you saw it on display. That ball looked overthrown from the get-go. Max Bura just turned on the burners.
There's no such thing as overthrown from Max Bura.
But that's the thing. It looked like it was overthrown, and then he just kicked it up a notch, accelerated a little bit, and got there. And defender looked like he was neck to neck with him, and then just got burned.
It was overthrown and thrown to the wrong part of the field as Bura had to even change eye line to the ball.
Also didn't matter.
Didn't matter. The Madden glitch pulled it in.
It's a phenomenal play.
7-6 with the pending convert. Styles Trudeau catches the ball, has the deep end across the back as he often does. He floats it, and it is incomplete. The ref rules it out of bounds. 7-6 for Fighting Flamingos.
This is exactly what we expected out of Vick In A Box, right? For them to come on the field, have this explosive play right away, be able to score quickly, and now they put the pressure back on Fighting Flamingos to score. If this is what we're going to expect all game, the pressure is on Stephen Harper-Assad to remain perfect all the way.
Fighting Flamingos getting back on the field, but this is a game between, one of the best regular season franchises, Fighting Flamingos. They've lost early in the playoffs previous seasons. Vick In A Box under a different name, Goofy Goobers, losing last season in the finals, last winter season. Stephen Harper-Assad now taking his troops out for the second drive of the game. Deep ball thrown. It goes up. And it is incomplete, defended by Max Bura. Not a matchup I think he's going to go to too often, as he's unable to complete the pass to Troy Lenve.
Max Bura made a really good play on that ball. It looked like he was out of position, managed to jump up, make a play on the ball. He actually boxed out the receiver right before the ball got there, and that made it almost impossible for the receiver to catch that.
But the deep sideline throw, not Stephen Harper-Assad's best throw in his arsenal.
It's not the easiest of throws to make in these kind of situations. I think he tried it once. He saw what happened. He's happy it wasn't incomplete. He's going to stick to that.
Yeah, and La Charité ready to snap the ball. Harper-Assad looking at his play sheet once again. gets the ball, moves the pocket to the right, delivers a quick ball this time to Troy Lenve, and Max Bira gets the flag quickly. But nice safe play, manageable third down for Fighting Flamingos. Simon, we talked about it a little bit before. Both these teams, one returning to the finals, one finally making the finals. Who do you think has the greater pressure on them in this matchup?
The greater pressure in this matchup is Fighting Flamingos to continue to be perfect, to continue to drive the field slowly and do what they do best. I think Vick In A Box takes away those opportunities, those special plays for them, and they really need to stick to what works.
Harperson moving to the pocket to the left this time. That little hip shake that he's known for, and he's spinning and quickly deflagged. I love how Stephen Harperson always stops running as soon as he has the first down. But we see a flag, potentially a flag guard.
I did see him jump. I don't know what the flag actually is. It might have been jumping
flag guard, running infraction.
Yes, and that's exactly what I don't know what it is. That's exactly what it feels like. It's fourth down, so they moved him backwards.
And took away down?
He did no. Well, it appears that he did jump before the first down was gained, so they moved
they
back from that spot,
okay,
which puts them back 5. So now they're at 4th and 5. Very tough penalty to take. He would have 4th and 1 if he wouldn't have jumped, right? He would have been tackled. Yeah. This is tough for Fighting Flamingos.
Harpersod looks to his left. He doesn't believe it's tough. He gets the ball to Troy Lenve, and that flag keeps coming off quick, but Troy Lenve keeps getting very close to flag guard.
I'm surprised by how Max Vera played that ball. He knew. I think he was expecting him to just make it like a sort of hook and go in front of him, and he waited a little bit too long and gave up that first down hook.
Vick In A Box tends to start very passively on defense. They want to see what you're doing on offense, and then they adjust. So we're going to see how they manage the adjustments as the game goes on. Ismail Fracion closing in on Stephen Harpersod. He pumps, he delivers a floater, but it is caught. It is a wonderful location, and Antoine Kraft-Cloutier with a touchdown. Tell you what, Simon.
Yes.
Chewy, he's home. In this case,
homebound. I don't know where you're going with this.
No, I'm saying in this case, Antoine Kraft-Cloutier, he's Chewy.
Oh,
that solo is Stephen Harpersod. Come on, man.
Wow. Okay, that was a beautiful catch. The ball looked like it was sort of spinning the wrong way, going out of bounds. The ball placement was good, but it wasn't the nicest of throws. But that was a ridiculous catch.
Well, the location was good. It just
floated
and kind of
just
turned
looked
like a punt.
Bit tough to catch, you know.
Yeah, Harpersod known for that a little bit, but he throws a nicer looking ball. But this time, Mathieu Lacharité reaches with one hand inexplicably, and the convert's not completed. It is now 13-6 for FF.
So what disappoints me a little bit in this one is we talked about the matchup Brand Bakken against Daniel Picetro, and now I see Brand Bakken's on the sidelines. Was on the sidelines the whole drive, stretching out. He was a key factor in the first drive. I hope he comes back. He's
stretching out, so you better get the party started. We have Vick In A Box getting ready to get their second drive started. Styles Trudeau communicating with his boys. I love the calmness of Styles Trudeau, and he
doesn't care. Like, well, you scored, I will too. I don't care.
Yeah, like he's confident that they will score every drive. He readies for the snap from Daniel Picetro. He gets the ball, looks to his left, throws another deep ball, this time to Craig Browning. The ball a little bit behind and defended by Antoine Kraft-Cloutier. I tell you what, that guy could keep running all day because Cloutier just made the catch on the touchdown and just had to run down a fade and knock the ball down.
Antoine Cloutier just made another great play on the ball. Back-to-back nice plays by him. He scored a beautiful touchdown, managed to defend well. If Fighting Flamingos have the defense to take away Craig Browning, the only worry is going to be Max Bura, the man in Clinch. It's tough to defend, but at least you got one less thing to worry about, right?
And we see the coverage being very, very loose on Max Bura. They just want him to beat him deep. Styles Trudeau gets the ball. He has Bura on a drag, but doesn't quite get there. Mathieu Lacharité closes in, pulls the flag on Trudeau. Styles Trudeau looks like he's communicating to his receivers. That play didn't look the way he thought it would in the huddle.
That's beautiful sack by Mathieu Lacharité. It's one of those very difficult things when the quarterback runs to one way and you kind of have like one hand in the fraction of a second to catch it, otherwise he's gone. And there was a great tackle by him. He made a huge play for his defense. His defense took away the first read. They wanted that slant underneath. It wasn't there. Everybody jumped it. And now Vick In A Box is not exactly as comfortable as we expect him, as we've seen them be all season.
Yeah, one of the things that they defend very well is the quick drags, quick slants. They are very aggressive, so here we'll see if Styles Trudeau later on in the game will attack the next level behind that. Trudeau readies for the snap in his own end zone. He gets the ball, looks to his left, delivers over the middle. Two receivers in the same spot, but is caught by Max Beer. Max Beer doesn't care. He can't be covered by Fighting Flamingos. He can't be covered by his own players. He makes yet another huge catch and a first down for Vick In A Box.
What surprised me here is the Vick In A Box went in a completely different offensive scheme. They had that trips on one side, Max Bureau switch from the right side to the left side, and we kind of expected them to attack that middle of the field at 20 yards ish, and they had two guys sort of running the same pattern in some way. There was two guys there, but nobody on.
I don't think that was intentional.
The safety bailed. They were too far, and they started bailing way too quickly. They didn't want to give that 40 bomb, so they gave away everything underneath.
But what's weird is they gave up the deeper of the two routes, which is a little bit bizarre. But Styles Trudeau now with his offense in the more standard set, and once again giving up a sack to Mathieu Charité. Doesn't look like he's going to be a particularly effective rusher until he's bearing down on you. Runs like a bull. Very
he doesn't
effective.
miss. That's the best thing about him is he comes down. He might not be the fastest guy, but he doesn't miss. And that's exactly what we're seeing is the defense takes with the first one. He closes in, and as soon as he manages to close in, the quarterback's kind of stuck, and then he gets a tackle because he doesn't miss. And that's back-to-back. That's 2 sacks on the one drive that are really starting to get in Styles Trudeau's head.
I don't think so, because look how calm he is. Look at his body language, commanding the huddle.
Yeah, but it could also be, do you really want to look panicking in the first half?
Here's the other thing. We see, though, how deep they are in Max Bureau. That means if the other wide receiver runs a deep hook, he should be wide open, or a fly down the sideline. And Styles has not looked that way. He gets the ball, looking to his other side, looking to his left. He falls.
So they had the rusher offside. They hesitated to snap the ball. They took way too long to snap. The rusher had time to reset, go back, and got the sack for another 10 yards.
Yeah, just a lot of bad decisions all at once.
All at once. A lot of weird mistakes by an offense like Vick In A Box, who usually doesn't make that many mistakes. Now, that phenomenal third and long situation that they initially had is now once again third and absolutely forever. We're looking like third and 25.
Yeah. Definitely.
What do you do now? Do you chop in half? Do you just throw it up?
If the first down's there, take it. But if you can cut this down
all
to
the way
10,
there.
if you can cut it down to 10 or 12 yards, then you take it. And that looks to be with the nope. They're looking to go for the touchdown right away. Craig Browning has to win a jump ball against 2 men.
That was Max Bureau actually.
Oh, was it Max? Sorry about that.
You went to Max Bureau on a deep, but the safeties were starting already at 15 yards, so it's very difficult for them to beat them over the top. And now Vick In A Box are forced to punt.
I actually saw them running deep flies on both sidelines. I was expecting sort of like a comeback, something at 10, 15 yards.
That would have been a really nice play if they would have had like one of the 2 flies stop at 15. Like instead of a fly, the 15 hook, they would have caught the defense by surprise because the safety started so deep and they just bailed right away.
And Styles Trudeau's arm is good enough to be able to throw those balls easily.
It's good, yeah. A 15-yard hook should be something he's really good at. I'm happy to see Brent Botkin back on the field.
Harper saw delivering to someone who is not Brent Botkin, but Miles Kyler instead. Ball is caught for a short gain. Those quick hooks have been there early for Fighting Flamingos.
Fighting Flamingos offense has been working really well with those little pieces of field. They take those 5-6 yards every single time. It doesn't look pretty, but it works.
I do like, speaking of pretty, the swag on Miles Kyler with the pink socks and the blue shoes. Excellent color coordination. His girlfriend or wife has done a good job of getting him ready for this game.
Just him. Maybe
nope, don't think so. He doesn't look stylish at all. Stephen Harperson moving the pocket right, delivers over the middle of the field. That's one of the things he does best, resetting his feet, and he does so as he's thrown to Antoine Kraft-Cloutier.
What could have been a really good sack by Ismail turned out to be a good check down by Stephen Harperson. I was expecting him to maybe make a mistake here. He did not. That was a very good play by Fighting Flamingos offense. Yeah,
it's 6 minutes and 50 or so seconds left. 13-6 lead. Not quite panic time for Vick In A Box, but not a comfortable situation either.
It's not what they expected. They probably expected to be up 13-6 and put the pressure back on Fighting Flamingos, but by deferring in the first half, you kind of give the other team an extra possession, right? You kind of put yourself in that situation yourself. Yeah,
Harperson catches, delivers to his right. Man, that was not a safe throw at all. It was a route that was undercut by the defender, and Miles Kyler unable to haul it in.
Nicolas Sanch could have made it. Sanch, I guess. Yeah. Could have made a really good play on that ball. He had one end on it. I think he was expecting sort of to not be able to really grasp that ball well. I think he glued to his hand more than he expected, and it was sort of caught by surprise. I could have caught that ball. Yeah. They could have been a pick if I would have went with 2 hands.
But he still made a great read. And
still a phenomenal play to bat that down and put them in the 4th down situation where it's 4th and 2, and it's a tough situation.
Stephen Harperson looks to deliver it quickly, and he does. This time Troy Lenve, some contact, but just incidental. Daniel Pisataro pulling the flag on Troy Lenve.
Once again, you see the safeties for Vick In A Box are a bit too passive, a bit too deep, that they give away those hooks underneath, and they're giving away first downs in those 4th down situations where they could have potentially made a play.
Absolutely. Now first down, big first down, would you say, for Fighting Flamingos?
It's going very, very well for Fighting Flamingos offense. They're doing exactly what they want. They haven't been stopped yet. They're driving. They're not necessarily driving as flashy and explosive as the Vick In A Box, but it doesn't matter.
They are set. The ball snapped. Closing is for Sion. But Mathieu de Charité, who handles contact really well, able to haul it in despite having to fight off a defender and still gain some extra yards for about 9 on that catch.
Solid catch by Mathieu de Charité. Big gain afterwards. A lot of yaks. And you see it now this is exactly what Fighting Flamingo wanted out of this matchup. I think this is the sort of the worst nightmare for Vick In A Box. I'm not too worried yet, but are you starting to feel those what's it called, upset bubbles coming?
Stephen Harpersad is the guy who's built to play with a lead. And they needed to get ahead early. They haven't. Harpersad's been nearly perfect.
They started with the ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Stephen Harpersad, he gets the ball, looks to his right, delivers on a slant to Brett Bodkin.
Brent Bodkin for first down on a quick slant. A nice play by Brent Bodkin. Like we said earlier, he might not look like he's the fleetest of foot, but he's actually he's quicker than people think, and he managed to turn that slant into a first down, and Fighting Flamingo still again driving. And
now in the red zone, and we saw Brett Bodkin. It's also that big frame, right? So once he turns his back, the defender will never be able to get.
He knows how to box out a receiver because he knows he's a larger guy, and if the ball's centered into him, you're never reaching that ball.
So tight receivers on the right side. Harpersad gets it. He looks over the middle, goes deep, but Troy Lenve was already out of bounds before the ball was even thrown. Even if he came back, it would have been incomplete.
Still a beautiful play by the receiver. That was a great catch. Inbounds or not, that was a very nice play.
But inbounds, I think, would have been intercepted.
Yeah, I think the receiver scorer gave up on the play because they knew Max Bruce saw that he was out of bounds. Like, there's no point in me trying to collide with him. I don't want to get hurt over this. This is not worth it. Catch it if you want. It doesn't matter.
Harpersad calls his play. The Vick In A Box defense readies. They know they have the goal line in front of them and the back line behind them. They're going to try and keep the receivers out of that box. The ball thrown to Brett Bodkin in the back of the end zone, gracefully keeping his feet in. It is a touchdown, and they call it a Royale with cheese.
Nice. Another great play by Brent Bodkin. Back-to-back. He was on 2 tries. You think he's at 5 or 6 catches so far. One was a convert, one was a touchdown. He's underrated, to be honest. In the last game when they played practice squad, he was not used at all, although he was open.
All game.
And I think he said to Steven Harpersad after, he's like, listen,
yo, throw me the ball.
Yeah, guy, I'm open. Like, come on.
You see Troy Lenve, 41 catches. Miles Kyler, 38 catches this season. Basically, 6 players with at least 10 catches, and Brent Bodkin not used as often in this offense. So happy to see.
But today he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to see his involvement in this game. Now 19-6 with a chance to convert. Harpersad looks to his left, delivers over the middle. Miles Kyler pulls the ball in from over his head. It is now 20-6 with 2 minutes, 28, 27, 26.
I'm looking at this Fighting Flamingos offense, and we know coming in that guys like Troy
Lenve.
Yeah, they're one of the best opens on offense. Mathieu de Charité as a snapper is also very difficult to cover. Miles Keller is one of their best receivers. But now we're seeing other guys, like we're seeing Brent Bodkin excel. We're seeing other guys step up, make plays. And now if I'm Vick In A Box, who do I cover?
Everyone. Zach Trudeau, however, needs to make that decision for his own offense as he gets the ball, looks to his left, he throws to Daniel Pizzatoro. Pizzatoro, another one of these guys who excels in contact. He's spinning his way towards the sideline before eventually getting deflagged. Great catch, great run after the catch by Daniel Pizzatoro.
Big man making big plays. Like we talked about Brent Bodkin a little bit earlier. We said on the podcast coming to this game that Daniel Pizzatoro was one of those players that everybody underestimates. There was a nice catch. The ball that was thrown behind him, and managed to get a lot of yaks after the catch. And if they could keep going to that well, it might work for quite some time.
You've heard of Young Jeezy. I call Pizzatoro Young Peasy as he gets ready to snap the ball, gets it to Zach Styles, looks to his right, completes a short pass to Max Beer. Max Beer with a vicious cut before it being spun away by Zach Simpson.
So the last 2 drives, Max Beer has been running these hooks at 5-6 yards, and the safety is so far behind.
Troy Lenve.
Because he's afraid to get burnt. He's afraid of allowing that 40-pound once again, that he's so far off that these hooks are going to be there all game if they want. The defense is going to try to jump in and kind of bait him, but Styles has the arm to zip it in there and make the defenders, they're too far away to actually make a play on that ball.
Indeed. And Styles Trudeau's a smart quarterback. He's going to see what's available. So hopefully he's able to deliver on that. Vick In A Box getting the ball back to start the half, but for now, under a minute, 38 seconds left in the game, 20-6 for Fighting Flamingos. Trudeau, however, delivers the ball across his body. It is intercepted. Terrible decision. Jesse Racine with the interception.
So Styles Trudeau had a bunch of guys wide open. Everybody blitzed on Max Bureau underneath. He ran that slant perfectly. That ball was overthrown way too high. Max Bureau couldn't make a play on the ball. And as soon as he released, he saw Craig Browning in the end zone, forgotten, wide open.
Well, that should be the next part of the read, is if they're jumping the drag, something needs to be open behind the drag.
But the problem with those kinds of plays is you're rolling to one side. You're trying to beat the rusher. You see one play. You're trying to make that pass. The whole thought process is difficult to all make.
Harperson now delivering a perfect strike. That is dropped by Miles Collar. Max Bureau runs into him. It looks to be a call here. Are they going to call unnecessary contact or unnecessary roughness?
That was so Miles Collar made a huge drop. He was wide open, forgotten. That would have made a huge play for Fighting Flamingos to really take that momentum back, and got cleaned out by Max Bureau, who, although his hands were up, his body just went right through Miles Collar.
Yeah, I just think it's just a fast guy trying to close in on another fast guy. It was just, you still got to control your body, though, right?
Yeah, he also didn't look like he was trying to avoid him, right? It's not like you try to plant and jump jump awkwardly next to him and you kind of hit him a little bit on the side. You just cleaned him out into the curtain.
Unnecessary contact is the call. And the thing is that once the drop happened, because the hit
that
came...
was a contact that was not necessary.
Yeah, it happened after the play. There was no need. The ball had already been dropped. The ball was
already dropped, and the play was long over. And
Harper saw it, now getting the ball. Frassillon closing in. Frassillon getting the flag despite the well-placed hand of Stephen Harpersod.
So that's one of the plays where your defense... So Ismail needs to make a play for his defense. Vick In A Box's defense has absolutely no life right now. They look like they're just standing there, feeding some man. They're not doing anything. They're slowly letting them score. Their defense hasn't been able to do much. You need your rusher to come in, get a sack for you guys, give you guys some energy, put you guys back in the game, and this is when you need a big play from your rusher, and that's exactly what Ismail was able to do.
And so now Vick In A Box looking to take away the deep ball. Harpersod gets the ball, but flags fly, and the play won't count.
Offside on the offense. Now, no, that's actually a safety.
Why?
False start, sorry.
False start. One player indicated as a safety. None of the officials did.
I thought it was an official.
I don't know if you know this, but players can't call penalties or safeties.
I mean, they can. It's just it won't matter.
They won't matter. And like in this case, the call made by Matthew Pizzatoro, not factual.
So there was.
I don't know if he knows what a safety is actually.
Well, maybe he does. Maybe he's hoping for one. He needs something.
It's what you use on a Saturday night after a date. Caught by Harpersod. He looks to his right. The ball comes out. It's going to be a flag.
Yeah, that's a flag guarding in the end zone.
Flag guarding
in
the end zone.
That is a safety.
Yeah, there we go.
Stephen Harpersod, trying to avoid the sack, sort of turned, and as he turned, the ball was right there next to his flags. He actually flag guarded with the football. Football was punched out. That's the flag guarding in the end zone. That's a safety.
In Division 60, we said that we couldn't see the future. Perhaps Daniel Pistoro could see the future because...
I'm assuming it is. So he is.
He called safety.
He is the medium we talked about.
We need him on our media, because he will tell us the future and be better at predictions than us. It's now 20-8.
So we don't want him on the media.
No, it's 20-8 now. Vick In A Box getting the ball back after the safety. Look, it could have happened a little bit earlier in the game, but they're happy to have this sort of swing happen now.
These guys are useless. Our production is useless. We're asking them questions and they're just answering something completely different.
Styles Trudeau now getting the ball, trips to his left, looks to deliver as he spins away from Mathieu de Charité, but it's not going to work. However, a penalty call, it will be flag guarding.
So
but
flag guarding by the quarterback, but it doesn't matter. It's a sack anyway.
It's declined.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, but the flag came off, so you take the sack, right?
Yeah, correct.
So there's a sack.
For a moment, I thought it might have been holding, which would have been a bizarre call.
Yeah, that's what I thought too at the first, and when he's saying no flag guarding, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good call. So now we have...
Perhaps a penalty for milking the quarterback.
So Vick In A Box... Yes, so okay, please. I'm trying to move away from your stupidity.
It rhymes with Vick In A Box.
So Vick In A Box got that safety. Got the stop and the ball back. They had a chance to score before half with a few plays left to be able to go into halftime only down by one score.
And now... at the 1 yard line, they can't give back the safety they just got. Styles Trudeau getting the ball. He's going to look to get rid of it quick, and he does. It is Matthew Pizzatoro with the catch, and is quickly deflagged.
The problem with these sort of plays is you just lost 2 plays, one for the safety, one for the yards afterwards. So they don't have a lot of time. They have a few plays left in this game.
I believe this to be the last play.
It is the last play. So you had 3 plays left back when you got on offense. There were 4 plays, you got the safety. You get 3 plays. You wasted one with the safety. You wasted another one trying to get back the yards you lost. And now you have 1 play from the 7, hoping for one of these big plays, and you got 4 safety lined up 30 yards away.
Yeah, and not a lot of time to throw the ball because La Charité is going to be coming in. Perhaps they should have gone on a 2 count. They don't. They deliver a ball deep, and it is intercepted by one of the many safeties back for Fighting Flamingos. That's a half. It's 20-8, and the half comes to a close.
Antoine Kraft-Cloutier made a really nice play on the ball. He was there. He boxed out the receiver, made a play. That ball was not thrown far enough for them to actually be in the end zone and contest it. It would have required a miracle for Vick In A Box to actually score. Now, in what could have been a game-changing safety sack, it turns into a 2 points that didn't allow score. It's sort of a stop-ish, but it's not what Vick In A Box needed.
No, and they get the ball back, so they'll still need a stop in the second half. And Stephen Harpersod on the other side for Fighting Flamingos has been absolutely amazing.
It's been really good up till this drive where 2 sacks.
Yeah, and that's seeming to bother him. But Stephen Harpersod in this season, only 1 loss between 2 teams, playing in 2 finals tonight. This is the first of his 2. Truly a special night for one of the new up-and-coming names in FPF.
Yeah, he's one of those quarterbacks that don't necessarily look like they're dominant players. They don't look the part. You know, they're not that flashy player, but he's smart. He knows what to do, and he's very, very efficient. He's one of those quarterbacks that might climb up the divisions faster than most people expect him to.
And this is, of course, as we talked about, Vick In A Box's return to the finals last time. It came down to a play where it was called as a objectionable conduct that negated a touchdown. It was a push-off. It was a push-off that negated a touchdown, and then an objectionable conduct that took Jared Taylor off the field. Jared Taylor no longer with this core, but just as talented a group, yet we see them trailing early in the game.
Vick In A Box, we talked about this a little bit in the pregame. Vick In A Box is the sort of team that they score much, and it's weird to see them only scored 6 points offensively. They got that safety that sort of puts them within 12 points instead of 14, but it's not what we expected from this offense. They should be driving. They should be scoring a lot more. They've been a high-flying offense all season, and now they're sort of stalling, trailing maybe. It's going to be a tough second half for them.
When we look at these 2 quarterbacks and we look at the possible game scripts in this game, we see Stephen Harpersod being 14 for 19, 3 touchdowns, and then Styles Trudeau 5 for 10. That's the kind of score we'd expect, right, if we saw that kind of game play out.
Yeah, well, this is the script that Fighting Flamingos wanted. They wanted that game where they take a lot. They have a lot of attempts where they don't score on 40 bombs because it's not what they do and it's not what they want to do. They don't want to go chase that 40-point marker against Vick In A Box. They want to limit the amount of opportunities Vick In A Box gets and pile up on those mistakes. So far, that's exactly what they've been doing. Vick In A Box has been doing pretty well, and I expect this second half to be a very slow and gritty game.
With 4 sacks going to Mathieu Lacharité early, definitely having his imprint on the game. But we're seeing, with such deep coverage on Max Bura, they're not attacking the sideline on the right side where Troy Lenve can't possibly cover the seam of Max Bura and then a sort of a 10, 12-yard hook on the sideline, or just short stuff in front of that safety. There's 2 areas that can be attacked on that defense, and there seems to be an almost refusal for Styles Trudeau to go there.
Vick In A Box has a very good second half offense. They know how to adjust and they know what to take away. I think they had time to talk it over, and now they know. This is what they do against us. Look how far the safety is in front of Max Bura.
And
let's exploit this area.
And inside positioning by the corner on the outside receiver. Styles Trudeau delivers over the top, already attacking the sideline second half. Craig Browning makes the catch. I think that's going to be an area we're going to see Styles Trudeau exploit.
Right away, adjustments from the Vick In A Box offense.
Just the thing we just talked about.
They talked about it. They're like, listen, this is what we need to do, and they switched it around. And now Vick In A Box offense might actually get some traction.
Commissioner Rob Campana going down early with the Commissioner's Trophy. A little bit shocking in my purview.
Rob Campana.
The game's done. But Styles Trudeau has other plans as he delivers the ball to Matthew Pisatoro for a short hook and a first down.
Maybe Rob wants to remind everybody, hey, this is what you're playing for. Maybe you should, start
wake
playing.
up. Vick In A Box, if you want to be Vick In A Cup, you're going to have to wake up.
Nice.
Styles Trudeau now scanning the field, readying his team. pulling them back in. Because, like, guys, you need to know the play before you get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, at this point, with 21 minutes left on the clock, the quickness of the snaps don't matter. As long as you score on this drive, that's all that actually matters.
Yeah, and he gets the ball. Oh, the rusher was offside for a moment, but seems to have pulled himself back. That sideline hook still open, but overthrown on the side of Craig Browning's
a tall guy, could jump tall, he could jump high.
Can jump tall, too.
Yeah, can jump tall, too. But, man, that was overthrown. That was
that was unexpected.
That was very, very high. Very tall.
Very, very tall. Tall on all accounts.
Tall.
So an incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10. Still no time to panic. Styles Trudeau as calm as ever. Again, seems to have come back to this half with a renewed focus. Fighting Flamingos, however, no adjustments on defense so far. And that's kind of been the one thing that I was questioning before I came to this game.
What they were doing in the first half worked, so why change something that works?
Because you know they're not going to come back and give you the same looks. And now throwing the deep ball to Craig Browning. Craig Browning goes up and wins it. It's a touchdown catch. Wax off, Simon Dagenet.
It's a beautiful play by Craig Browning. That was that's what they want. That's what Vick In A Box has been doing all season. This is what they want to do when they're playing FPF. This is what they excel at. He threw it up, allowed Craig Browning to make a play on the ball, beat the safety, muscled it out of his hands, and now Vick In A Box are only down by 6 points.
Craig Browning, 11 touchdowns in the season. Probably one of the best number 2s.
He's been a phenomenal number 2 next to him. He could be a number 1 on any team, but you're next to Max Brewer. What do you want to do?
And a deep ball to the back of the end zone, deflected and not caught. It seems as though Fighting Flamingos ready for those deep crosses back of the end zone by Styles Trudeau. That's the thing he loves to do.
It's like they know what they're going to do.
Yep, absolutely. They're prepared for Vick In A Box. They know what they were going to see.
There's a lot of time left in the second half. Fighting Flamingos only up by 6. Now the pressure's back on Stephen Arpasot to score. If they don't score, they could tie the game. It's not the end of the world, but there's still a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. And the last drive was not great for Fighting Flamingos.
20-14. Ismael Fraction has gotten to Stephen Arpasot. Now he's breaking on him again, but the quick slant open to Antoine Kraft-Cloutier, and he cuts upfield for a first down.
He's fast.
This Fighting Flamingos team is fast and tall.
A lot of speed. As soon as he caught that ball, there was a lot of speed coming out of that slant, and they got a lot of yards after that. I think Stephen Arpasot wants to get the ball out of his hands quickly. He's afraid of that rusher now. He knows that he could take a few sacks. He doesn't want that, so he's going with these quick plays, and that was a phenomenal play. Well,
Arpasot is very good, but also the snap coming in quick from Le Charité, allowing him to hit first window. And Arpasot now getting the ball, delivering once again in that first window, and once again no defender in sight as Antoine Kraft-Cloutier has been deflagged. Would he be your favorite for MVP at this point?
At this point, I would say yes. He's been playing really, really well. He made some great plays on defense. He made a few nice plays on offense. That was 2 quick slants to him. That was about 20, 25 yards receiving. If there's one guy, if Fighting Flamingos win, if one guy gets it, it's either Miles Keller or Antoine Kraft-Cloutier.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, Stephen Arpasot for second down, gets the ball, looks to his right, moves the pocket again, this time throwing the ball into the curtain through the hands of Antoine Kraft-Cloutier. He's human, as it turns out. So,
yeah,
not aliens.
But it's a second down. It was 2nd and 5. It's a second down that you prefer that to something risky, right? That was sort of play him or nobody. It was nobody. It wasn't him. So you have third and 5-ish. It's a good situation for both teams. On defense, you're confident at 3rd and 5 that you can make a stop. On offense, at 3rd and 5, you're confident that it's 3rd and 5. We got this.
Absolutely. But now they need to make a play. Stephen Arpasot gets the ball, moving the pocket once again to his left. No one does it better. And a complete pass to Mathieu Le Charité. However, it does appear to be 4th down and 1 yard.
Once again, this is what we've talked about Vick In A Box most of this game, is they're passive on defense. They're allowing them to catch the ball in front of them, and then they play the flags. If they do that once again, they're going to allow the first down. So are we going to see a different? Are we going to see a switch for Vick In A Box and be very, very aggressive in this 4th down, or are they going to allow that hook once again to avoid the touchdown?
That's one of the things they don't know how to manage, this new group of guys who's new to the league. Vick In A Box have trouble when the quarterback moves the pocket. They tend to either over-pursue or stay too passive. We saw a bit of over-aggressiveness in the first half.
They cheat a little bit too much.
They cheat too much, and then when they realize they're cheating, they stay too passive, and that doesn't work either. Stephen Arpasot not communicating with Troy Lenve. Referee Craig O'Brien tells him there's not much time left, so he's got to get the snap off, and he does. He quickly delivers to his left. Miles Conner makes the catch on the sideline. First down.
Vick In A Box is very, very aggressive in that play. You saw Mathieu Saturo jump right away. The snapper tried to take that away. It worked. The only problem is he blocked his own snap. He blocked his own rusher,
which gave him time.
So the rusher was forced to stop and gave Steven Rappersott a little bit more time to read the field. Found that open man, managed to plant properly with nobody in front of him to disturb him, and it was a good play. But the execution was a bit.
Now with about 3 yards out of the end zone, Fraction closing in, pushing Harpersott to the right. It's a touchdown to Brett Bodkin. Rhodes, where we're going, we don't need any roads. We just need touchdowns. It's another touchdown, Flying Flamingos, 26-14.
We only need Brent Botkins. That's all we need. There's another great play by Brent Botkin. Again, it looks like they don't even cover him. He's running these underneath patterns, and everybody's jumping these two guys in front, and they're leaving Brent Botkin open. He was forgotten in the end zone. And listen, if he's open like that, he's gonna get those touchdowns.
You gotta take him when they're there. Harpersott now setting for the convert. I like that. He starts really far back, walks up close, gets the snap, delivers the out and in. The ball sort of helicoptered its way out of bounds, incomplete.
That was a bad back foot pass. Wasn't very accurate, but it doesn't matter. It's a convert, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Take
those shots now.
It looked as though the route opened up earlier than he wanted to.
Yeah, I think he wasn't ready for that pass, and he couldn't place the ball properly in his hands, and he kind of forced it. Came out a bit weird, but again, who cares? It's a convert. They're up by 12. They're very comfortable.
Styles Trudeau now with, again, his renewed focus, catches the low snap. Again, that outside hook wide open. And once again, overthrowing Craig Browning.
Once again, the guy is open, but he's putting it so difficult for him to make a play on the ball. He's putting it too high. The Styles Trudeau kind of needs to, I think he's stressing a little bit. They only scored 14 points. They're down 12. They need to make plays.
And the defense scored 2 of those points.
Yes, they only scored 12 points.
Jesse,
they only scored twice.
Jesse Racine playing that kind of smartly, in that he knows he's giving out the outside hook, but playing underneath to force the throw over him. Styles Trudeau needs to make that throw with more touch.
When's the last time Vick In A Box we're down by 12 points in the second half?
It's been a while. Styles Trudeau on 2nd and 10. Looks immediately to his right. Pizzatore puts those big paws on it. He's spinning. Got a little slap in butt, but it's been deflagged.
I like it. It's working. Like we said, if we go back to that well, it's still there. It's still very wet. A lot of water.
Yep, a lot of water.
I mean, the well is not dry.
The well is not dry. Daniel Pizzatore, 22 catches in regular season. Not always used, but sure-handed whenever he does. Whenever he has been used, and he made a catch there. 3rd and 5, and Styles Trudeau delivers it quickly now to the hook. And Craig Browning sort of sidestep. The flag's still on him before now being removed by Troy Lenvey.
There you go. That was a great play by Craig Browning. He went with a quick out. He was lined up a little bit more inwards than he usually is. He went with that quick out, and he was forgotten. No, there was nobody again on that sideline, and there was a nicely placed ball by Styles Trudeau that allowed him to run after the catch, and they made a lot of gain after that.
So the thing that Fighting Flamingos seem to be giving up all game long is on the sidelines. And now, with 13 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game, Styles Trudeau has figured it out, but is it too late?
I don't think it's too late. There's still a lot of opportunities for them to score. If they score here, they're only down by 1 score, and they got at least 3 or 4 possessions more left in this game. Still 13 minutes.
He now has his team in trips. Fighting Flamingos haven't necessarily handled that well. Styles Trudeau gets the snap, looks to his left, has a guy open the back of the end zone, but poorly thrown by Styles Trudeau, just too much air.
I think he was looking for Craig Browning in the back, and Max Bureau sort of wanted to make a play on that ball, so they a little bit of miscommunication. I think Craig Browning would have been the favorite target there.
Yeah.
But it's first down in the red zone. You're better off throwing it higher than lower.
But that said, he had a completely open window to throw the ball.
Yes.
We have a great vantage point. Obviously, we're above the play, so we can see it. But had he actually just thrown it directly,
I prefer him being safer in the first down like that.
That's fair. Styles Trudeau looking to his left. Once again, similar play design, but this time La Charité pulling the flag from a spinning Styles Trudeau.
So this is kind of what I meant earlier. Is I prefer him discarding it earlier and going higher than holding onto the ball a little bit more, because he wants that window to open up and takes a bad sack, and now it's 3rd and long instead of what was 2nd and short.
But it does also seem as though he's holding onto the ball when waiting for his receiver to get to the window, when he could just put it in the window and let the receiver do the work for him.
Yeah, I think he's stressing a little bit that his offense hasn't had the sort of traction they're used to, and now they're a bit confused to what we need to do that works.
Styles Trudeau catches the ball, throwing to the back of the end zone, this time leading into the window, but the ball deflected and knocked away by Fighting Flamingos.
So this is exactly what you said, is throw it, don't wait for the window to get there, just throw it there and the guy's going to get there. This play would have worked initially if it wasn't in the red zone and it wasn't third and long. Because it's third and long, the defense knows that they'll allow everything in front of them. They don't need to cover those slants. They need to cover the deep. So instead of Brad Evans, who usually sits in front and roams and jumps the flats,
he was able to go back.
He dropped back because he knows there's no point in covering the 2 yards out, and he managed to make a play on the ball.
Absolutely, and trips to the left of Styles Trudeau. Styles Trudeau's going to make a play. It's now 4th down, about 10 yards away from the end zone. He has a crossing receiver. He delivers once again to the back of the end zone, but it is caught. Daniel Pizzatoro. He's shouting out at Max Bira's like, no, I know what you are, Max Bira.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter. It's mine, and I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Touchdown, Daniel Pizzatoro.
This is honestly, this is not the sort of play where you would expect Daniel Pizzatoro to excel. It's a 4th and long situation. You need that sort of jump ball-ish play. He got there, he made the play, and he made a phenomenal catch. Now, this was possibly the play of the game. If Fighting Flamingos would have got the stop, got the ball back with 10 minutes left, up by 2 scores and driving, they could have ended this game.
Absolutely.
Now that Vick In A Box scored, the pressure's back on Fighting Flamingos, but there's enough time for this is anybody's game now.
26-20, 10 minutes just came off the clock, and now time for the 1-point convert. Trudeau looks to his left, delivers the ball behind, but Matthew Toro with a circus catch. Ball behind him, pushed in front of him, falling down, pulled it in.
He had the window in front of him. The pattern was there. The ball wasn't perfectly placed, but he still made a phenomenal play on that ball. Everybody's bailing out their quarterback who needs. This is a sort of situation where you need to help your quarterback out. Yeah, it doesn't have the same swagger he usually does. His confidence is not out there. By getting those plays, making those catches for him, they're building it back up, and we could see explosive plays back from Styles Trudeau on offense in a few seconds.
In a game
minutes, because seconds now. Fighting Flamingos on
offense. In a game that looked out of control for a second, it's now only a 5-point lead by Fighting Flamingos, but the ball quickly delivered by the sidearm throwing Stephen Harpersad, and about 6 yards gained by Mathieu Lacharité.
This is one of those times.
Why'd you just tell us, Simon?
I'm very confused. This is one of those times where Fighting Flamingos need to milk the clock to begin with. They need to slow it down, but they need to score regardless of how long it takes. If they could take 8 minutes off this clock, there's 8 minutes left. If they could take all of 8 minutes, they will win. I think they need to slow it down and do what they do best. Don't try to be a hero and hit those 40 times.
And that's the thing. I think Stephen Harpersad is going to look to do that as he is on 2nd down. Avoids the rusher, finally beats Ismael Fraction, gains 1.5 billion yards. It's a 1st down. It's not actually 1.5 billion, it's just Harpersad doesn't run that often.
The defense was flawless right there. Everybody had their coverage tight. Everybody was locked down. Ismael got there, but the fact that he missed the sack really killed Vick In A Box defense. They had it. It was right there. The sack would have really put Fighting Flamingos in a tough spot. The fact that he missed and Stephen Harpersad was able to run afterwards really changed the whole atmosphere. So
okay. I agree, Simon, entirely, and that's the thing, is it's going to force Ismael Fraction to sort of break down a little bit and not over pursue.
Yes.
Correct. Now on 1st down, Harpersad ready to receive the snap. He does. He moves to his left, delivers a strike to a falling Antoine Kraft-Cloutier. Antoine Kraft-Cloutier just learned about gravity.
I'll be honest, that was not what he was expecting. That's the sort of play where it's a hook. Just hit me in my chest and let me run. No, let's fire it into the curtain and make him jump for it. Antoine Kraft-Cloutier with a great catch for 5 yards. It looked that it could have maybe turned it up, but Stephen Harpersad didn't have the perfect ball placement that he usually does, and his receiver bailed him out.
Well, so the thing is, Harpersad's good at accuracy in terms of throwing into a window and throwing into a part of the coverage, but not always the best at placing the ball, and we saw it there, but great hands by
It didn't matter, right? There was still a catch.
And Harpersad now looking back there, but waiting. Fraction unable to make the sack for about 3 seconds, and then pulls it off the quarterback, Stephen Harpersad.
So like we said, Ismael needs to have a big rush in the following few plays. He needs to get another sack. If he would have missed that sack and allowed a 1st down, that defense would have crumbled. They need big plays from him. They need something from the rusher. They need that spark. And he's struggling a little bit. Like he's getting to the quarterback, but he's struggling to pull those flags and really get them. And that needs to be fixed right now.
Offense getting back on the field. We've seen this spread formation all game long by Harpersad. He looks to his right, pumps, delivers over the middle of the field. He has Troy Lenve, but Troy Lenve falls out of bounds. Max Buer with him every step of the way.
That was Max Buer stopped trailing because he knew that ball was completely out of bounds. The guy tried to make a phenomenal play on the ball, but even both feet were out of bounds by the time he touched it.
And Buer is like, I'm not taking another penalty.
I'm not going there. I'm not getting hurt. I'm not falling on top of somebody and potentially, turn an ankle or something just because for a ball that's obviously out of bounds. Steven Harpersad doesn't look too comfortable in the pocket anymore.
No, absolutely. Ismail Frassino having his impact on the game. It's
getting,
now 4th and 10.
He's not getting the sacks, but he's getting to him, and that's what counts. He's forcing earlier throws, and that looked like a discard to me.
Absolutely. It was his guy or no one, and it was no one. Harpersad gets a snap, looks to his left, delivers the ball to fouling Miles Kyler, catches the ball at the goal line, but not a touchdown. Will we see our first challenge of the roadshow?
Ooh, that was a beautiful catch by Miles Keller. He dragged both feet right in front of the cone. That was beautiful.
I think we're going to see a challenge, but I also think Kyler caught that ball.
I think that was a catch. That was a clean catch on 4th down. The pressure.
If you're in the situation of Vick In A Box, is it worth taking a chance here?
What would you have to lose?
Yeah, because they're also not seeing the same vantage point that we have.
But also, what do you have to lose? If they get it and they score on the next play, this game is not over, but it's tough. If you reverse that call, that's a phenomenal stop.
Yeah, I mean, look, watching it here on the replay.
We have this new pylon cam that we just tried out for the first time, and it's
good thing we got it, right?
Because it's right there.
And we're seeing, look, Kyler goes out, and this camera is going to show us he has possession. The previous replay showed us, if we can get a look at that again, of course, it'd be nice from the pylon cam. We're going to see, of course, right there, we saw he had possession, but both feet came in. And while his mouth is tasting a bit like curtain, it's going to taste a little bit closer to victory.
It tastes a lot sweet.
Yeah.
It's going to taste a lot sweeter once he sees that catch himself on camera. When he goes home and watches this game on replay, saying, "Oh, I made that catch, eh?"
Yeah, he's gonna show his girl that and be like, "Yo, baby, I still got it.
See what I did?
I still got it.
See what I did?"
It's looking at the pylon here. This is where we see both feet clearly coming in. We can establish possession from. Of course,
they are challenging.
Yeah, that's why we're discussing it. And we just heard from referee in chief Leo Gervais that it is in fact a completed catch.
It was a beautiful catch. We saw it. Granted that we have the replay right in front of us, it's much easier for us to say.
For those who are watching at home, you have that one angle that looked like a touchdown. I have all 4 angles in front of me, so I was able to look at the pylon cam as it was happening, and it did look to be a touchdown.
We had all the shots right away. It was easier for us to say which one was actually, and the pylon cam really had those both feet dragging as soon as he caught the ball. It was a phenomenal play with Miles Keller.
And now we have 4th and inches. Will we see another either smash out or smash in by Miles Kyler like we've seen all season?
I expect a quick help by Miles Keller, the same way they scored in the first possession.
Receiver, the defender's on outside position, though. I don't think we'll see it on this play. Steven Harpersad scanning the red zone, gets the ball, looks quickly, and in and out. It still worked by Miles Kyler. Just a mistaken coverage by Sebastian Zufo.
It's the way he's been running his routes that are so successful, the combo routes between him and that wide receiver. So what he's been doing is that wide receiver has been running a deep hit in the back of the end zone that forces the corner to bail with him because they're playing man. So Miles Keller, all he has to do is sort of hook and make it 2 steps, hook, sit, wait for the corner to drop back with the deep end, and then just bail out.
But then Sebastian Zufo has to undercut it to
But it's difficult because he's waiting. So if you have to undercut it, you're going to shoot it inside shade to get that ball. Yeah. As soon as he shoots inside shade, the guy just bailed outside, and he's open. And Steven Harpersad knows that he's not throwing that hook. He knows he's throwing that out.
Absolutely, that's true. Harpersad communicating with Lenve. Lenve still seems confused, but the ball snapped to Harpersad anyway. Delivered to the cone, and the thud is the ball hitting
great play, and again
the
by
barrel chest of Brent Botkin.
Like we discussed, Brent Botkin knows how to box out of a receiver, a DB really well. That ball was coming straight at him. He put his shoulders out. He knew that the guy couldn't go around him to catch it. Caught the ball, and then he just fought him off.
Absolutely. And Vick In A Box now.
Me. Boy.
Vick In A Box now trailing 33-21. Styles Trudeau looking over the middle. Matthew Pizzatoro knocks the ball upwards. Incomplete.
It was a dangerous
4 minutes left.
It was a bit dangerous play by Matthew Pizzatoro to knock the ball upwards. That if someone would have played that ball, that was a pick. But they both played the receiver, so.
If you're going to be reaching with one hand, always pull the ball towards your body.
Not
upwards.
It's not volleyball.
There's no benefit to knocking it up. No. Much like something I shouldn't say on telecast. Ball snapped to Styles Trudeau. He looks over the middle. This time caught by Matthew Pizzatoro, and he pulls it in.
Smart play. It looks like an audible. Vick In A Box offense is successful with these kind of plays. The problem is time is against them.
Yeah.
They're trailing by 2. It's only 2 scores. They need to score. It's not over, but time is not on their side.
Not at all. Time does not heal all wounds in this case. It causes more wounds for Vick In A Box as Styles Trudeau gets the next snap, throws the ball to Max Bura, and as great as Max Bura is, he is not 17 feet tall.
Yes.
Facts.
Facts with peas. It's a smart play to just sort of discard it on first down. It's first down. Take a shot, but take a safe shot. And that's exactly what he did. The problem is the clock continues to wind down. That costed them 40 seconds.
They need to find an exploit. If they're going to follow Max Bura to the back of the end zone, they need to attack in front of him. Now it looks like they're almost going to double team him with Brad Evans underneath, so they're kind of expecting that as well. The ball thrown over the middle and intercepted by Troy Lenve. Daniel Pizzatoro pulls the flag, but it seems to be all but over for Vick In A Box.
That was the dagger right here. You saw it. The receiver was open on the seam that once worked earlier, but the ball was clearly overthrown. Styles Trudeau had a poor release on that ball. It was way too high. There seems to be miscommunication with the receiver, but he couldn't make a play on that ball. Once he sees the replay, you'll see that ball was thrown way too high, and the DB that was sitting behind him actually got the ball straight into them.
Vic can be short for Victor, could be short for Victoria, could be short for Vicar. Will not be short for victory on this evening, I don't think.
Okay. Well, you don't know. There could still be a pick 6 right here. This
Stephen
game is
H.
not essentially over, but it's looking really good for men in pink.
Stephen H. delivers the ball to Troy Lenve. Stephen H. is what he's known as in our fantasy league, by the way.
Okay.
Good fantasy player as well as quarterback, although I will say better quarterback than fantasy player.
Not very creative with his names.
Well, he's also Stephen H. of Primetime. So he's got that's his player name and his team name. Primetime is his team name.
So essentially not very creative.
Not creative at all.
It's not his strong suit.
I will say creative play caller though, right?
Yes, okay. Well, unless maybe he's not the one being creative.
He is though. It's the system. I know it. So Stephen Harpersad now collecting his guys, really running out the clock. He knows he's got to drain as the minutes and seconds fall off the scoreboard behind him. He calls trips, gets the ball, delivers it in a handoff, and it's quickly deflagged, but I don't think it'll matter too much as Antoine Kraft-Cloutier is just taking some time off the clock.
As long as they complete passes or even run at this point, as long as they don't create...
You don't even need a first down, basically.
All you need is to kill time.
Yeah.
And do it in a safe manner that as long as they don't throw a pick, they're fine.
Definitely. Once again...
Would you consider this an upset, although they're both first seeds?
To a degree, yes, because Vick In A Box have been so dominant. But we know how good this Fighting Flamingos team is, and that one loss doesn't mean a ton about their actual ability.
So Vick In A Box just took a timeout right before the snap after wasting the 20
after wasting 20 seconds, yeah.
There seems to be some confusion too. Both there's 2 guys on defense that turn around like, we don't want it now. What are you saying?
Yeah, a little strange, but the ball delivered deep to Brent Bodkin. Not the best fade runner.
But that's the matchup we talked about. Dan Pizzatoro against Brent Bodkin. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm confused that he goes for the fade there. They're not guys that run flies. But
no.
Again, we're talking about as long as you kill plays and you don't waste time, you're fine. Now the thing is that forced a punt.
Yeah, and 30.9 seconds left in the game. So.
Unless they score right here with some sort of 40 bomb, Vick In A Box is in trouble.
You know who the ball's going to, right? It has to on this play.
Yes, but I could see it going to Craig Browning.
I would almost...
The size matchup is in his advantage.
I'd almost stack him on one side, do a post from one and a corner from the other, and see where the safeties are cheating. It does look like they're going to be on the same side of the field. Styles Trudeau gets the ball in his gut. It looks like to be that exact route combination, but the ball doesn't go there. It instead is picked off by Troy Lenve. Surprising decision. He actually had Max Bura open on the corner. It was the exact route combination we discussed, and they didn't go to it.
They didn't go to it. He looked it off really quickly and went the other way. He expected ISO on one side. He probably expected his receiver to be able to win a one-on-one matchup. It was not the one-on-one matchup. The safety was right there. And Troy made a really good play on the ball by baiting the quarterback, thinking he's sitting in the middle, and actually just shot the ball because he was so far off that he had time to make up on either side. With
1/3 of the SOS being blown in by the referee, it is 5
SOS.
plays left.
Now the game is officially over. Even though they throw a pick 6 right here, they could call the game unless they take a dumb penalty, which Fighting Flamingos are not known to.
No, it's. I think the men in pink, as you called them earlier, likely coming with the trophy.
Ooh, although you know,
you never know. Ball juggled and caught by Troy Lenve after it was dangerously bobbled.
Yeah, that could have been. And there goes a stupid penalty that we discussed. Vick In A Box saying some. Saying something. That's our on-field microphones being caught and our producer not shutting
Perhaps
down.
our producer can adjust that as we try to close out this game. Thank you, Eagle, for noticing.
He's saying he did it on purpose, but we all know he did not.
Yeah, he did not. So the thing is, this game is over. It's been officially blown in. 33-21. The game is done. Antoine Kraft-Cloutier, you're a player of the game? Or do you go to Stephen Harpersad?
I don't know. Offensively, Miles Keller had some really had a great impact. I would say offensively talking, if you don't look at the stats, because Brent Balkin had some touchdowns right there, right?
Yeah.
But offensively, if you don't look at the stats, Miles Keller was probably their most productive player. But there's Antoine Cloutier as an interception, 1 or 2 touchdowns. Trey Lenve also had a very big impact in this game. This could go in multiple directions. I could see this. Moscow is very happy with Rob Campana right now. I could see this game. I could see this MVP going in 2 or 3 different directions.
Miles Keller, by the way, he's been in the league for a long time. This is his first FPF championship, and someone needs to tell GM to be patient and talk only when he's spoken to. And so as we hear some on-field production from a mic that can be muted, what we're looking at is Simon.
So it's muted, just not for us.
All right, that's fair. Simon, we're seeing the first championship from this group. I'm
happy for them.
Yeah, I am, except for Brad Evans, of course. But for the rest of the group,
except for Brad Balkin,
happy for them. Brad Balkin's already won 2 many championships.
It's back to back for him now. You won in the spring, one in the winter. Brad, that's enough.
But honestly, great game. Stephen Harpersad, I'm happy to see his style of football win because it truly is sort of
It's very impactful because he lets his receivers do the work for him.
Yeah.
He understands that my system is not me being the hero, it's my receivers being good. So the fact that this could work with anybody because he could go to different receivers.
And as we see, Fighting Flamingos now collecting with Robert Campana to be presented the Commissioner's Trophy, the FPF Championship Trophy for Division 6. And Troy Lenve.
Newly minted Division 6 champions, Fighting Flamingos. So I'm here to present the championship trophy to their captain, Brad Evans.
That's it, Brad. That's it, Brad. That's for your
And GM Kalethris is ready to once he's done giving out T-shirts here, he's ready to give the Finals MVP award to
Finals MVP Stephen Harpersad.
That's it, Stephen. Yeah, baby. Let's go drink some beer, boys.
So guys, we'll just get you to put together for a championship team picture, please. I know some of you guys got to run to. Here, guys, get together a little more.
Being given to the team, and Stephen Harpersad, as we discussed, one of the options as MVP, and he's sort of like while other guys are playing checkers, he's playing chess on offense. Really happy to see.
Very well deserved MVP. He played a phenomenal game. Like we said, so many receivers has an impact that you have to give credit to the quarterback for making those reads and making those right plays, right?
Correct. As we hear the chant "Flamingos" from the field.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, they seem to be completely enthused, and again, it's a group that's waited a long time. Group with some new pieces, but of course, this core has existed in FPF for a long time. We see GM Kalethris trying to collect the Stephen Harpersad and get a word with him. It'll be difficult, of course, because he's ready to play his next finals game.
He's got another game right away afterwards. His team's warming up without him.
Congratulations, Stephen, Finals MVP. So, what was going through your head during the time? At what point did you think this might be our game? This is in the bag for us.
The final pick. Well, we're up by like 12, and there was like less than a minute.
So up until that point, it's still anybody's game, and you continued on.
I'm the type of guy, until it goes to 0, then it's over. Because it's like you say in the podcast, stranger things can happen, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So what are the plans for this team for next season? Will we see a return of the Fighting Flamingos to defend their title?
Possible, but I don't think I'm going to fit the cap for Div E probably, so I'll try if I can fit the cap. But if not, move up to a different division, or I'll play defender or receiver.
So I'll leave you to warm up because you have another one. Congratulations.
Congratulations once again to Fighting Flamingos. Great game all around by the many different pieces on this team. Stephen Harprasad, congratulations on your MVP. You deserve it, bud. From Simon Dagenet, for myself, or vice versa, is how I meant it. I am Peace Delarize, reminding you, of course, the Division 6 champions in the winter 2018 season goes to Fighting Flamingos. Congratulations, boys. 33-21 final score. Fighting Flamingos champions over Vick In A Box.